So for the next several weeks, we're going to be doing something a little different compared to normal for us. We're going to actually be walking through an entire book of the Bible. We're going to be walking through the book of Ephesians. And why Ephesians? Because it's one of my favorite books, really. That's the only reason. But as we go through, I hope you see grace after grace. This book is amazing, and it even starts with the very first verse. This is how it starts. Paul, an apostle of Christ Jesus, by the will of God. So, letters in the ancient world were not like our letters. Today, if you write a letter, you start, Dear John, how are you? I'm fine. Well, back then, you would start by saying who is sending the letter. So, Paul starts by saying, hey, this is Paul. And he identifies which Paul he is. He's not Paul, the guy from Rome. He's not Paul, the wine seller. He is Paul, an apostle. An apostle is someone who is called by Jesus directly to serve him and sent out. And that's what Paul is. In fact, it even says, Paul, an apostle of Christ Jesus, by the will of God. This isn't something that Paul chose. In fact, if you know Paul's story, maybe you know this, that Paul was actively persecuting Jesus' followers. He wanted to destroy the church. And Jesus showed up and said, no, Paul, you're going to follow me now. And Paul did with the rest of his life. That's grace. Paul did not deserve that. Paul deserved to get squashed like a bug. And he wasn't. God instead said, Paul, come and follow me. Be part of my family. And so even from the very first phrase here, we get to see God's grace in Ephesians.